Hello, 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 and welcome to another live here with Lady Visionary. If you're new to the channel, please do go ahead and subscribe by, just clicking that red button just to help my channel grow. And, if you like what you see here, just support. It's free here, I promise you. Just by clicking on the subscribe button to show your support, it costs nothing. So I would really appreciate it if you go ahead and support me by subscribing to this amazing family. So, Visionary family, I just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks to each and every one of you who have been supporting me from the very beginning, in the middle, and up till now. We've had like quite a few numbers of new subscribers. So I just want to say a very, very warm welcome. Thank you so much for, choosing to support me. That I really do appreciate, and I do not take that lightly. So thank you so, so much. I'm seeing some of you joining. Welcome. As you all join, I just want to say welcome. This is going to be a very, hopefully, interactive discussion because I do want you all out there to be willing to participate in tonight's live show, be willing to call in. I really do want to hear your opinion on this particular topic. Very, very interesting one. So do go ahead and share your views with us, whether that's in the comment section, whether you're listening in now live. I'd love to hear from you because I know many of you saw the topic. And, I was supposed to come live yesterday, but unfortunately, I wasn't feeling my best. So I had to cancel. So I'm very, very sorry about that. Today, I wasn't feeling, again, too great, but I'm feeling a lot better. And I thought, I've got to come on because my supporters are going to be like, what's going on? What's going on, Lady Visionary? Like you keep postponing. So I really didn't want to do that. Although I haven't been feeling that great today, I had like a really good consultation with one of my supporters who's interested in relocating to Rwanda. So, I set up a phone conversation with him. So for those of you who don't know, I do offer a consultation service for those who are wanting to sort of relocate, invest in Rwanda. So if that's you and you're watching, please do go ahead and send me an email. All the information is in the description box. I just want to say a big shout out to Jean today, who's one of my clients and supporters, who I was consulting with today. And that was a very, very productive session. And I was really, really excited for him. He's a supporter from the States, looking to relocate to Rwanda. So that's amazing. Very, very warm welcome to every single one of you entering the live stream just now. We're waiting for a few more to come in before we start on this topic. I'm sure you've seen the title, and I do want you guys to please, please, please think about clicking on the link when I send it out and just come and, let me know your thoughts regarding this particular topic. And I'll just really set basis in a minute as to why I decided to bring this topic to the channel. Before I sort of go into that, I just really want to let you guys know, the GoFundMe page that I set up for the Africa Rising Investment Funds, that's really taking pace right now. I've had people donate on the GoFundMe page. I've had people email me. I've had people also support via via PayPal. I have left the link in the chat, so that's something you can really think about supporting. Everything that's raised on the channel at the moment goes to the Africa Rising Investment Fund. So I really just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. I won't do shout outs now, but I will do when I sort of bring up the list, and I'll just go through and shout everybody out who has been supporting the Africa Rising Investment Funds. I'm seeing more of you join. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another session with your girl, or should I say with your woman, because I'm a married woman with 2 kids. So yeah, so Lady Visionary here. just to let you guys know a bit more about the Africa Rising Investment Funds, for those of you who are not aware of what that is, it's a great initiative that I launched for Rwanda, for young people in Rwanda, specifically in the rural settings of Rwanda. So those young people who have tremendous talent, and also they have great business ideas, but they don't have anybody to, you know, fund those ideas. It's usually the young people in the rural settings within Africa that tend to be left behind. So my initiative is really targeting those young people in Rwanda, in the rural settings, who really need it. So they get the chance to pitch their business ideas to myself and my team, and basically we decide whether that's a project that we basically want to fund, whether it's a project that's sustainable, that can really improve the livelihoods of themselves and their families, as well as their communities. And then once we sort of decide that, you know, this is a project that we want to fund, then we will, or a business, sorry, that we want to fund, then we will give them a business investment of between sort of 200 to 1,000 pounds. So yeah, it's a really great initiative, and you know, I can't wait to get back on the ground in Rwanda. And as I've mentioned here on the channel before, I should be back in Rwanda before the new year, and I'm really, really excited about that. At the moment, I'm just planning and organizing, and yeah, I'm, you know, going to get back to Rwanda, all being well. I've got my Rwanda top on, like I just digged it out for the channel, but yeah, that's the map of Rwanda, and yeah, all the colors and stuff. So I'm repping Rwanda tonight. And I'm repping Rwanda. That's one of the countries I've chosen to relocate to and invest in for the moment. And I'd love to also expand and support other countries on the continent. I know many of you are thinking about, you know, so many different places that you would like to relocate to on the continent. Some of you are considering Rwanda. Some of you are considering like Ghana, Gambia, Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya. You know, it's really exciting when I hear from you guys who also, you know, inspire me as well. So that's really, really great. It's all really positive stuff behind the scenes when I get your emails. And, you know, some of you, like, well, not some of you, but a lot of you are very, very encouraging. And on days when I'm not feeling my best and I receive like an email from one of my subscribers or my subscribers, I'm like, right, I've just got to keep going, you know. So I really do thank each and every one of you for your encouragement and all the support that I've been getting, because as I've said previously, like, I really didn't expect to get all the support that I'm getting, all the love that I'm getting on this channel. I'm not sure what I was expecting really, but you know, in general, you guys have really sort of blown me away. And yeah, for that, I'm really grateful. I'm really, really grateful. And I appreciate, like, I know I say this a lot, and many of my subscribers may say, like, you say that so much, but I really don't take my subscribers for granted. Like, I appreciate every single one of my subscribers. Like, that's how real it is. So I just want to see who's in the building. So G Grift was saying, looking forward to this discussion. Many of us are still asleep. Hello to you, G Grift. Peace. Some of us are at different stages of being awake, and sadly, some of us may never wake up. Okay, I totally hear where you're coming from with that. Peace saying, hi, Lady Visionary. Hope you are feeling better soon. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. The homegirl healer is in the building. Peace, Lady Visionary. Peace, family. Peace to you as well. Hope you are doing well. Photon 30. Hello, Lady Visionary. Hello to you as well. How are you? Love the t-shirt. Yeah, I just thought, you know, I grabbed it out like my bag and I was like, let me just represent today, you know, Rwanda. Like, why not? Why not? Why not? Marvelous is here. Hello, Marvelous. Hi, all. Hello, Marvelous. How are you? Hope you're well. Thanks for coming back. I always see you in the chat room representing. So thank you guys so much. So I'm just going to go ahead because I'm seeing quite a few of you in here. So I'm just going to go ahead with regards to the topic, and I'll just put the banner on so you guys can be aware of the topic, especially those of you who are just sort of joining. You know, like I was really thinking about this because there was something that happened. So the topic of today, if Black people are not awake now, then when? And I really want some of you or all of you, whoever, like, just come in and just speak to us, because I posted something on YouTube. Was it on YouTube? No, that was on my Facebook. Actually, I posted a video on YouTube, and the video was basically me sort of giving 5 recommendations, 5 mistakes not to make when moving to the continent. And someone made a comment, and I think this was a Black man. He basically said, "Why do you keep posting this?" You know, he said, "We built America and we're not going anywhere. Like, we're fighting, we're not going anywhere." And he was basically saying, you know, I shouldn't be promoting people moving to Africa, basically. You know, and I do understand that some people from the Black community, they're a little bit resistant or very resistant with regards to promoting us moving to the continent. And, you know, for me, it's like, okay, I know not all of us will be awake, and all of us won't be moving at the same time, and all of us will not want to accept the realities. I do understand that, but there are people who are so anti Black people moving to the continent. I've heard people say, why would you want to go there? It's full of corruption, it's full of this, it's full of that. And I'm like, well, don't you see what's happening on your doorstep? Like, let's be frank and real. Like, in America, the way that they're shooting down Black people like nothing, like their lives don't matter. Like, are you not seeing that? Are you not seeing, like, I don't understand. Are they not seeing that? Like, some people are just, do they just want to be totally oblivious to the situation? Is it that, you know, it's that phase of like denial? What is it? We also see what's happening in Europe. You know, some very similar sort of situations. Like, okay, they may not be be gunning down Black people, but in Europe, let me talk about the UK, right? And I've mentioned this before. When the pandemic started, so many people died, right, in the UK. And they did research because the black people were dying at a disproportionate rate in comparison to their white counterparts. And then when they did their research into this, they found out that it wasn't COVID that was killing Black people, it was racism in the hospitals. So we see what's happening in Europe, we see what's happening to Black people in the United States, but so many Black people are still so resistant in terms of moving to the continent, or they don't even want to entertain the idea of even other people considering the continent as an option. And they're like, well, for example, you know, the comment that I got, it was like, I'm staying in America, I'm fighting back. We built this place, so I'm not going anywhere. Like, that's what the comments say. Like, we're not going anywhere. Why should we move to the continent? And as I said, I know it will not be for everybody, but, and you know, there's this saying that like a lot of Black people are sleeping, and we've really got to respect each other, because we also have to recognize that not all of us have always been awoke to the realities. And it has taken us time, because, you know, there's been a lot of brainwashing, a lot of negativity in terms of how the continent is portrayed in the West and in America. If I didn't get up and say, you know what, I want to go and explore for myself, I want to go and explore the continent for myself, I wouldn't have done that, because everything that I was seeing was so negative. But then deep down, I was thinking to myself, there has to be another story, and I have to be the one who goes and explore and discover the stories on the continent. And then I took myself and I went to Ghana for 3 months just to kind of explore, find out more about my history, and just to learn more about the truth. And then from there, I basically started to go to different countries on the continent. But some Black people are just completely resistant. They don't want to know. They think, you know, if you bring up the idea, well, if you talk about the realities of what's happening in today's world, not just in America, not just in Europe, but across the globe, what's happening to Black people, when you think also about the Middle East and how Black people are being treated there, you know, maids in the Middle East, you know, so many people who have traveled to try and better their life. So many people have moved from the continent to better their lives, or try to better their lives, but find themselves in the most despicable, horrible situations. You know, I've said it and many have said it, like, Black people, I believe, have been the most sort of disrespected when you compare to other races, and we have been disrespected for centuries and centuries and centuries, and we have been, like, I would say a lot of the times we've been begging for a seat at the table. And for me, I'm saying no more should we ask for a seat at the table. We just need to take our position. We just need to understand that we are great beings, and we need to understand that we don't need to be asking for equality. We just need to say this is what time it is, and we're going to take control, because we do have the power. But a lot of Black people don't believe in themselves, unfortunately, and a lot of Black people don't believe in unification in terms of in our community, and how we can sort of come together and push forward in order for us to see progress for our people and for generations to come. So I just want to read a quote, and many of you will know the great Harriet Tubman, right? Because there's a famous quote by her, and she said, "I freed a thousand slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves," you know? And I think that's so powerful, because so many Black people, I believe, are still entangled in chains in terms of the mindset, and they don't see the realities. I don't know whether if they're completely like blindsided, or they just don't want to, even think about it, because maybe it's too painful. I'm not exactly sure, but there's obviously a problem here, you know. I think to just kind of be, you know, say you block out the realities of what's happening, I don't think that's progressive. But as I said, everybody has their time. Not all of us have been like woke to the realities. Everybody is at their own individual stages, so I can't really bash them. So when I see comments like, you know, the ones that I talked about to you, I basically don't bash them. I'm like, you know what, it's going to take time. And also I try to also educate in certain circumstances where I can, rather than sort of like hitting back or saying, oh, you know, maybe you're still sleeping, or just, you know, I try to be as positive as I can. But, you know, it is so obvious that some Black people are just kind of, they don't want to know. They're like, no, this is not the reality. Like, they're seeing people in America get shot down, and for them, they're like, you know, they don't have anything to say. They're like, no, it's not happening. I'm like, what actually needs to happen? Yeah, that's my question. What actually needs to happen for us to be awake to the realities, or, you know, of the situation that's happening to Black people globally? Like, some people will describe it as a global genocide against Black people in terms of how we've been treated right now. So guys, I am going to read some of your comments, and also I'm going to send out the link, so those of you who are interested to, you know, come and share your thoughts regarding this particular topic. So I have someone in the back right now, and let's invite Peace in. All right, add you. Hello, peace, and welcome again. I think it's your mic. Can you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't unmute. Thank you so much for letting me contribute to your program. And I also want to thank you for letting me in the last time as well. I forgot to thank you again because I was a little too nervous.
Don't worry, I also get nervous sometimes, but because I feel like there's so much, I can give, and there's so much that we can give to each other when we participate. And I've been learning from so many of my subscribers. Like, I came here thinking, yeah, I'll be the one running the show, but a lot of the times, like, it's my subscribers. So please don't feel nervous.
Okay. I just want to tell you, though, you are really well talented for this role you're in. You're doing a great job. I love the way you interview.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Appreciate that.
Well, I think, and I'm sure you know this, that because we even have people in our families who are they're at different levels of being aware of what's going on around them. So I think for a lot of people, the thought of picking up and going somewhere else is just beyond their personality type and beyond their, how they usually respond to situations. And a lot of those people, you'll see that in their life, in their personal life, that's how they handle things. A lot of times, they're the kind of people who will stay in a bad relationship, in an abusive relationship. And a lot of times, people who won't consider leaving are people who think we are anxious, people like us who notice what's going on. They think we're hyper aware and anxious, and we worry about too many things. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, yeah. And I think also what's going on with all these atrocities, it's very similar to slavery. That's just think about it. Because when you look at black men, you just wonder, how are they able to keep that guy like this? Mike, I'm sure there were people who like Mike Tyson back in slavery, right? Can you imagine how did they keep him on the plantation? Do you know what I'm saying? So all these atrocities that we're seeing, I believe that's part of the psychology of keeping people in shock, some level of depression and anxiety, and kind of keep them kind of frozen. So
I agree 100%. I feel that, as you say, you mentioned psychology, and it's been used for years to manipulate people and suppress us and keep us from progressing. And it's so important for us to be aware of why we think what we think, why we do what we do, why we move how we move. I know that sounds a bit too much. Like, as you say, some people be like, oh, these people are hypersensitive, but we've really got to, move consciously, because the reality is psychology is running the show. And as you say, like, keep these people stressed, keep them like, shaking. That's how you control them. That's how you get no progress out of them. You keep them stagnant,
yes.
And those of us who, like, myself and so many more of us who are awake to the realities, and when we try to talk to like some people who may not be so aware, they are so resistant. But at the same time, I feel like, okay, we've got to just continue educating. We can't be too hard on them.
Yes.
But I'm saying, but if not now, because I feel like the pandemic has really exposed so many things right down to the skeleton for me as well. Like,
yes.
So I'm like, this is like, it took this for me to be this much aware. Like, I'm so awake. It's unbelievable. Like,
Yes.
I know what's happening. I know what I need to do. I'm like, okay, it took this. I'm awake. So, and so many other Black people, I know the Black community have definitely woken up to the harsh realities of what we've been facing. Some of us have just been on the bandwagon, just kind of running on that treadmill, going to the 9-to-5 jobs, trying to pay that bill.
Yes.
But now, come on, like, many of us are awake. So, and then if not this, what is it going to take for us to be awake? I don't know.
Well, you know what's going on. I watched this YouTube video yesterday of this Black American guy who moved to Merida, Mexico. He moved in August, and he was talking about he was giving his analysis of life in America. And he's saying how, I don't know if you know about, there are lots of atrocities happening in our country. And one of them includes the fact that they are working hard to keep South Americans from coming here as refugees. So they're doing all kinds of evil things to them on the border. And Trump, one of Trump's selling points why he should be president was that he was going to build a wall. So this guy was saying, yeah, after moving to Mexico, he said, I realized after moving here that wall they're building to keep us in. So they do a lot of things on many levels to keep us here. And he explained how, cost of living is so high. You know why the cost of living is so high is so that you can never get ahead and you can never feel free. Because if you were ever able to get ahead, you'd be able to figure out that there are other places you can live for a lot less money. That's what he was saying. He said he got to Mexico and saw how cheap it is to live there, and he wished he had figured it out a long time ago. But we're all kept in this debt trap. You see, we work at keeping you on the plantation on so many levels that you really have to be like super intuitive and super smart to figure out all the different levels. It's spiritual, it's psychological, it's financial. You know what I'm saying? So but for some people, especially, those people who are arguing with you, I see them on African Tigress's channel, and anyone who's talking about leaving, there are lots of Black Americans who just, they've decided that's the battle they're going to choose. So, I think it's sad that's a choice they're making, but I also see that it's really important for us to respect the different opinions of people within our group, because let's look at the bright. I'm going to look at it from a bright side because I have a very negative opinion, but I'm going to be positive right now. I'm going to say, let's look at it. If everything works out and some of us stay, well, there are over 1 billion Black people living around the world. So what we should be focused on is that if some choose to stay, our goal really should be Black people, and I really want to see more Black people focused on this. The fact is, if there are probably truthfully 2 billion people in the world. Let's face it, who's counting? Not us. Okay, so it's probably 2 or 4 million. Dr. Mumbo, there was 4 billion people in Africa. That's what she's getting the number, right? So if we were to do business with each other, we wouldn't need anybody else. So if some people choose to stay in Mexico and America or wherever, hey, we should be doing business with each other anyway. And if you're in a different location, it means we can sell you something and we can buy something from you.
Yeah, because even if they don't support, like they don't want to move to the continent themselves, they can say, right, how can, like, I want to stay, for example, in America, like if someone says that, then we can think, how can then we can work together? How can we do business together to be the code? Like we need to all be on that same wavelength,
Exactly. Learn to communicate with each other. I think what we should do. We should always respond to those people. Well, yeah, okay, great. If you want to stay there, we should just still connect and make sure we do business with each other across the globe, because that's really what we should be doing. We're missing opportunities. Just like when you go to Africa, you say, oh my gosh, look at all these opportunities here. I wish I knew about them before. Well, now that we know it, great. But now we should also know, because let me tell you something. Here's something that's really crazy. A few years ago, I started wondering, it really started getting on my nerves because there were so many atrocities happening. My head was spinning. So I said, I want to find out why everybody hates us so much. I started doing research and I found out that we're the indigenous people everywhere in the world. Okay? So they hate us because they stole our land. They came here and found us and stole our land. So basically, there are Black people everywhere. Asia was all Black at one point until the people that we call Chinese people took over. Okay. And they got rid of all the people who were Black. Well, there's still some of them left. But anyway, I don't want to get off point. But the point I'm trying to make is we are everywhere. We are all across the globe. And that's what we should be thinking. We shouldn't just be thinking everybody should be moving to Africa. It would be nice if they did. But if they don't, it's fine. We can
totally
get our minds together.
I am about, speaking the truth and, obviously educating people on the realities of what's happening and, also exposing the opportunities on the continent as well. Because I've traveled to various different parts of Africa. You've got so many others like African superstar Wadamaya, you've got African Tigress who's in Kenya, who's showing us so much. And so we're getting a lot more exposure now. So a lot of us can't be like, oh, I didn't know, and also just saying there are other options, there are other greater options than, and for those people obviously who can't, they can't go to the continent. How can we work together, as you said? And you made a really interesting point because I really sat and thought about this, and the benchmark in terms of, like, I'm sure they're like, right, the American dream is here, and as you come to it, it moves up here.
Yes. So it's a scam. It's a total
scam. Like even in the UK, like I came to the realization several years ago, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I am not doing this. I started planning. I was like, no, I'm out. I'm out. Yes. Because it's just like continuous stress, because you're thinking about yourself, you're thinking about your children and how and then it just moves, and then the policy change and things just it just keeps moving further and further away. And say it's to keep us depressed, stressed, and in some cases, a lot of us, we're losing our minds. So when we are aware of the realities, we need to think about how we can do better. Please, stay there, because we've got Simeon and we've also got someone else in the background.
Great.
Really loving this conversation. So I think, Simeon, if you can unmute your mic, then you can come in.
Thanks for inviting me. I didn't even have to ring. I didn't even ring the doorbell. I didn't ring the doorbell, and you let me in.
So I know we've also got the African Chronicles in the building. So let's just wait a minute. I'll bring him in, and then we'll hear from you, Simeon.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You feeling better? You getting better?
Yes, I'm feeling so much better. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Oh, that's good. Shout out to the sister before me, and shout out to the brother as well. African Chronicle. Shout out to the brother. I do like this brother. He talks a lot of sense. This brother does. I like him. I do like him. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the Chronicles.
Yeah. Unfortunately, have you ever been in a situation where you're in bed and you just slept past the alarm clock? You set the alarm clock.
Many times. Oh, don't expose me on here.
Yeah. No, it's happened to me. You just sleep past the alarm clock, and sometimes you might have one on your phone. You might have one that's plugged into the wall, and sometimes you just hear the alarm and you just think, oh, God, gotta get up now. And when you kind of pay attention to this alarm, it makes you responsible, innit? Now you're responsible because you heard the alarm and you got to get up. Yeah. And I'm saying this because unfortunately, there's a lot of us, no alarm clock could get us up. So it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you or someone else says. They will always fight against that. Why would they fight against that? Because there's a responsibility with knowledge. Once if you're similar to myself, if a lot of people are quite familiar, with knowledge, once you know it, it's very hard to then go against it, because you go against yourself. So they'd rather not know the knowledge, then claim ignorance, because that's what the greatest people, it's like, oh, well, I didn't know. But nowadays, in this day and age, that's no longer excuse. If that could have been an excuse 20 years ago, don't get me wrong, because a lot of people didn't have social networks, social media, but it's not an excuse now. And I think, like, as a lot of people, they're just comfortable in that space of theirs, with little what you call props in their life. Once they can have these things, they're quite happy. They're literally quite happy. So I have like black like associates that I never ever talk to them about these type of things, because I know they're comfortable in that position. So I will be like evangelizing to them, and therefore wasting my time. And I'm not a preacher, this is not like Jesse Jackson or no one like that. So I don't even bother anymore, because it's like, oh, here you go again, that black stuff. You know what I mean? And that's how it is. But sometimes I have to correct people that have never ever visited the motherland, and they've got the most to say. Those type of people do frustrate me, because I'm thinking to myself, well, what gives you the qualification to talk? But I just say certain things and I just leave it at that, to be honest, because we're quite comfortable. Unfortunately, I hate to say this and I'd hate to see this, but you need more devastating events happening to black people, which they already are, for them to ever even consider waking up.
You should say that because, as I said, if our current situation, what's happening around the globe to the black community, if that's not waking us up, then what will? And then you're saying it's going to take more devastating situations. What? You really think so?
Will. No, it will, because you see, we're all on a journey, whether it's in the right direction, time will tell, but we're all on a journey. And like, as you mentioned just slightly earlier, talking to the sister, it's taken this pandemic, and all of these type of things to wake some of us up, or to make us look on things a bit differently. But with some people, they just, like many of others said, they just look at certain things as an isolated incident. So example, they'll say, well, if a black person gets killed by the police, well, maybe he wasn't complying. Maybe he had an attitude, maybe this, but there's too much maybes to use with so much that you see. So this is what I'm trying to say. Unfortunately, we're in denial when it comes to reality. We're in denial.
Yeah, and you should say that, because I see, like, in America what they do, and even here, when they arrest somebody, or brutally arrest somebody in the UK, whether they've shot down another black man and killed that man in America, they pull up all the records, because they just want to tarnish their image, to psychologically brainwash us to be like, oh yeah, they killed him because he had this and that record. What? It's like, no.
Exactly.
Into that. I don't care what crime somebody has committed. You don't, like, you're killing, like, you just kill people. A policeman can just kill another person in broad daylight in front of other people filming. He does not care, because what? The law does not apply to him. What?
No, well, you see, why they bring up these records is to like you just mentioned, is to justify their wicked and evil action. Because it's like, look what he did, so-called did. So we had no choice. It's to basically confuse people mentally. That, what, if you was in my position, wouldn't you take that action? Because look at his past history. That shouldn't have nothing to do with it. Do you know what I mean? And why I say this is, I always grew up hearing this saying, and the saying was, never judge a book by its cover. But then these people, complete hypocrites, do you see? Because this is what they do day in, day out, day in, day out. And it's just a continuous cycle for us, So unfortunately, not all of us will want to leave the West, and I understand that. But, like I said before, those who want to leave, they can try their hardest. Do you know what I mean? They can go and visit, go and invest, come back, stock up money again. Can try our hardest, and we shouldn't let anybody try and discourage us from doing what we believe is right anyway.
That's right, Simeon. Thank you so much for your contributions. Let's hear from the African Chronicles, and then we're going to go back and hear from Peace, and then you, Simeon. Yeah.
Well,
hello and
Good
back
evening,
again.
everyone. Good evening. Thanks for having me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing well. Wasn't feeling that great, but feeling a lot better now that I'm here talking to all of you.
Okay.
I was like, I can't cancel this again. It's such a hot topic. Come on, you need to feel better. But I am feeling a lot better than I was yesterday, so
Okay.
that's good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm very good, actually. I'm very good. Very, very
Fantastic,
good.
fantastic.
So,
So another hot topic. What's your
y-
opinion?
yeah, I
Open
mean,
for analysis.
to be able to answer your question, allow me to tell you a little story. I'll try to be as short as possible.
Yeah.
This is the story of a wildebeest.
Mm,
The wildebeest decides to migrate to the Serengeti because it needs to eat. And then the wildebeest ran across the Serengeti to find some food. And the wildebeest faces a lot of dangers. Death is waiting for it at the corner. What could save the wildebeest? The herd, the numbers. There are a lot of them. Some of them will die. Why? Because they feel like dying? Because they have suicidal tendencies? No. Because they will be caught and killed by predators.
mm,
And when the wildebeest comes back, same thing is happening. Same dangers, same problems, same issues. So why am I telling you that story? What would I mean by that? What will awake us? Natural selection. Let me explain
mm.
what I mean by that.
Wow, 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 wow. Go on, go on.
All right. You see, the wildebeest doesn't want to die. The wildebeest wants to eat. What save him again is the herd, the numbers. We are a lot. So some of them will survive and some will perish. Sorry, they didn't choose about this, but they will be caught and killed by predators. Same thing will happen to us. Because no matter what you do, no matter what you say, some of you are doing a good job with your channel. Try to awake people, try to warn people, try to give everything you can, any kind of information to people to wake up. But some of them feel so comfortable in the so-called comfort, they will never ever listen to you. That's the reason why we're going to lose a lot of us. A lot of us, a lot of us will die. Mentally, physically, they will die. What will save us? Numbers. 1.5 billion Africans around the world. That's all we got. As long as we are a few of us are awakened, those will make the change. Just remember again in history. Do you think all the slaves wanted to be free? They were too scared. No, 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 no. I want to stay here. I will never challenge the master. The few number challenged the master. And look what happened. You don't need to have the majority of us. Just a few of us will make a change.
Look
That's the
at
reason
Harriet.
why.
It was just her.
Excuse me?
Look at Harriet Tubman. You know about Harriet Tubman. She
See?
was just one person, and then she started building her army. That woman was a great warrior,
You see?
and she went back to try and save people. But again, as you say, many of them refused. They were like, no, they were just so comfortable, and that's why she said, I saved 1,000 slaves. I could have saved so many more if only they would realize. And I thought to myself, that's exactly what she experienced then. And this is even what we're experiencing now with our people. And it's like,
Exactly. That's the
wow.
reason why I had this conversation with a couple of friends. I said, you know what? I'm not scared anymore for my people. I'm not even worried anymore because I know whatever I do, whatever I said, a lot of people will never ever listen to me, or they will call me a liar. They will call me a fake revolutionary, or whatever. They're gonna call me names because they are so comfortable in the lies. They're too comfortable in the lies. The truth hurt them, so they won't move. They won't make a move until some things will happen, and then the natural selection comes up and do the rest.
So
Darwin.
you,
It's not me. It's Darwin.
sorry, what was that last bit?
I said that's not me saying this is Darwin. Natural selection from Darwin. See?
Simeon says that it's going to take a lot, like it will take a lot more bad things happening for our Black community to really realize. And for me, I feel like, oh my goodness, what more needs to really happen?
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid it's right. Look around you. Every single day, Black people get killed by the police, and people get finding justification for this. So what more do you want? We get killed every day like it's open season. What's changed? Marching, praying, singing, and that's it. See?
What really sort of kind of broke me down was, seeing what happened to George Floyd, and seeing just seeing that, even when I think about him in the replay of everything, I remember waking up the morning and, really sort of knowing what happened, and I could not believe it. Obviously, it was just so brutal. But after all of that, after people, marched, and, there was so much chaos and riots and things, another Black man shot down like a man that went hunting out in the field and killed another animal useless to society. It was just like, what?
Let me give you another image. Remember when the herd of lionesses go to hunt, they go in numbers because they understand numbers is the key. We fight together in order to get the prey, to kill the prey, and to eat. Until another prey join the hunted to help you out. And then the tables turn. So my point is, when people like you, like other YouTubers are doing what you're doing, you are unifying. Some of us are waking up. So there is hope. See?
Yeah. I really do believe that. I really believe that, it's something that, we just need to keep on doing. We need to keep on informing each other. We need to keep on educating, and we need to keep on spreading the message, because more as we do that, and that's why I don't give up with my platform, is that I feel like as we keep on doing that, yes, we may feel exhausted at times, because we're just like, these people, like, what is it going to take? Like, I'm giving you all the information, more information is out there, like, but still, they're taking their time. And we've just got to understand that people, there's different stages that people go through. People are awoken at different times. So we kind of have to be patient with each other. I know some people don't have that approach. You're like, no, like, if you're not waking up now, sorry, I'm leaving you, I'm gone. But I'm still like I'm not going to give up on my people. Like, we still need to, be patient with them, and still like educate others who may not even know. Because I know some people who are just, whether they choose to kind of not, like, they don't watch the news, they don't read books, or they don't do this, they're not aware of what is going on in the world, because most of us were so focused on our 9-to-5 jobs and are paying our bills and this and that, and eating the next day, or for the next month, that a lot of us may not be in the position to really focus on what's going on really in the world. Some people will say, that's an excuse. But let's hear from Peace, and then we'll hear from Simeon.
Well, since George Floyd, you mentioned some of the other atrocities that happened. Well, another one happened around the same time, and it was this woman, Breonna Taylor. She was sleeping in her house. You know the story, right? Where the police came in and shot her like multiple times. And then the court case was the I guess the grand jury case was announced. They came to a conclusion. They were not going to try the police officers, but they're going to pay the family a few $1 million. And the boyfriend who shot the police is not going to be charged. And it's just, it's like one thing after another. When I saw that story, I was just so angry, so sad. And it's just too much to bear. Living in America has become too much to bear. There is just so much happening all at one time. Honestly, you just feel like you need to be in therapy 24/7. It really is tragic. It's tragic living here. And I it's just it's really, you know, when I think about it deeply, it's really more than I can handle, to be honest with you. And it's very frustrating, and I get so angry when people will deny reality. I mean, I had 2 people on YouTube respond to a comment I made about how there are too many atrocities in America. And they're saying to me, and they both claim to be Black. One guy claimed to be a Jamaican American, the other was an African American, and they claim that that there's America's not a racist country.
Mhm.
America's not a racist country. Can you believe that? How do you respond to that? It's just so nuts. I mean, it's so bad here that when you see a police officer, you become terrified. And it's not just these atrocities that are going on. They have changed laws in every city to basically make it illegal to be alive. I mean, for example, in Georgia, they have laws where the state of Georgia, where Atlanta is, they have laws that if you get a traffic ticket, and they give out traffic ticket like so much, it's I can't even articulate it well how much they give out traffic tickets. And if you're a day late to pay your traffic ticket, there's an automatic warrant for your arrest.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Can I say something
Sure,
about
go ahead.
this? Quickly?
Uh-huh.
Quickly. It's called the 13th Amendment.
Yes, exactly. That's right. The 13th Amendment. And that's part of the problem. See, the government has systems set up to basically trap people. It's almost like they're tightening the chains for the slaves to make it harder for you to step even further away from where you are posted on the plantation. There's just so many traps set up that people's heads are spinning. And in the US, especially for Black men, they are targeted, and so many of them have police records that they can't leave. The only way they could leave would be to leave illegally. That's the story for a lot of people.
Oh my goodness. But you know what you've said about, like, I just want to, it's a lot to handle. It's a lot mentally, physically.
Yes.
It's a lot. But I feel, as you mentioned earlier, it's their way of also trying to send us to the madhouse. So
Yes.
we need to be aware. We need to be resilient. We're coming from a lineage of history, like Black people, what we've been through, we are resilient people, you know.
Yes.
And so we must be strong and not succumb to all of the pressures that's happening right now. We have to be strong. And I know sometimes people say, like, you know, how much longer can we be stronger? But we really have to be strong, and we really have to think about how we can maneuver our ways around situations, because it will just be another every time, like whether they shoot another person, or you know, whether you end up like having a mental breakdown, or dying from some stress related illnesses. That's another tick box for them. Don't give in like that. Don't no. Anyway, we're not going down without a fight. Let's just say that.
Yeah, but you know, I think the fact that so many people are leaving and going to Africa and then having YouTube channels like you have, I think people seeing how life is there will really help them to change their mind. Because the only images most of them have in their minds are, you know, the starving children with flies on their faces. So,
I mean,
you know.
that was me at 15 dancing around the front room, and an advert came on, and it was just another Black child in Africa, distended belly, flies everywhere. And I remember pausing and going, I know that there's a different story, and one day I'm going to find that out for myself. And you know, when I finished university, the first thing I did was get on a plane to Africa. And I saw and been, you know, that's my whole journey to where I am now. And you know, as you say, like as more people are, you know, relocating to the continent and showing a different story, people will be awakened to the fact that, oh, okay, there is beauty in Africa. There are opportunities in Africa. It's not just a place full of disease and all of the negative that they depict, you know. I'm not saying that Africa is perfect. Definitely, that, you know, there are challenges on the ground. That you can enjoy a better quality of life if you're focused, you're dedicated, you have a plan. You can do really well, like with your life, and also creating opportunities on the continent for your brothers and sisters there. So let's
yeah, I think people will also learn when they watch, because I think a lot of times Americans get comfort in all the things that are, you know, because of the great infrastructure here and the fact that they can order things on Amazon and get it the next day. But I mentioned the last time I was on your show that I'm from a little, town up in the mountains. We had no electricity, and I was happy there. I think we put too much value in superficial things.
Oh, by far.
You can be healthy and happy and not even have electricity. I'm not saying people shouldn't want electricity, but you don't have to have electricity all the time. Because I'm watching some people who moved to Tanzania, and I see that a lot of their residential roads aren't paved. And I know that in Rwanda, it's the same way too. A lot of residential roads are not paved. But it's not the end of the world. We should be willing to change our mindset and be willing to contribute to building somewhere. Because I have to tell you, I'm older than you guys. My kids are in their 20s. And one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't move back to Jamaica after college like I wanted to, because I just really wish, when I went back and saw how much it had developed since when I got out of college, I just was so sad, that I didn't contribute to it. And then now I really wish that there were more people like you and Juliet Ryan from Blackset who were who had the same, doing the same thing for Jamaica and the Caribbean. Because if a lot of us moved back to someplace like Jamaica, we could provide so many services and products that they could stop importing so much stuff, and the country could develop so much better. So I think people should change their mindset and stop wanting things to be given to them and be willing to contribute to change and growth.
I think you made a really interesting point, because I think that's one of our struggles at the moment, is that we're so, and it's been mentioned here a lot, that the fact that we're so comfortable with all our gadgets and all our materialistic items. we just keep piling up, as many will say, all of these different liabilities. Big problem within our community. We accumulate so many liabilities and not enough assets, so
yeah.
It's about having those conversations that, when people are comfortable with their things. And that's one thing that really changed me when I went to Ghana in 2010. I was this young girl who would ask my dad for everything. I want this, I want that. I would say I was quite spoiled. And then when I went to Ghana, that really humbled me. I came back completely changed. People were like, is this like, well, my family, my dad was like, is it like this is someone completely different. I like the new Kerry Ann, and so it was really interesting, that whole experience. It's really shaped me to being a better person, more humble, more grateful, and appreciating the little things, and also not being that person saying, okay, I want the latest car, I want the latest this, or I want the latest phone. I'm not interested in those things. So since coming back, even from Ghana, I've been able to kind of say, right, I'll set up a savings account, and I'll save this amount of money every month, because I don't know what I may need it for an emergency. A lot of us, like, when it comes to emergencies, we can't even find, $200 or something like that. That's a real issue. And thinking about the spending impact that we have, we definitely should be able to find a couple of $100 if we have an emergency. So we really need to prioritize our thinking, shift our mindset, and really start thinking these material things, how are they going to facilitate me today and tomorrow? Really start to think long term, really start to think more like investing for the future and throwing away these materialistic items that create so many liabilities that keep us in a debt trap, DEBT. So we're trying to get out of that rut because we're always, you know, going to fall for the same tricks. As soon as we see an advert, get this credit card, get that shoe, you know, it's just crazy. So we need to come out of that mindset, and it needs to shift, you know. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, we need to look at that whole, see, a lot of times people think that credit system was set up for us. No, it wasn't set up for us. That whole credit system where you get a credit card. No, it's set up so that they can keep you trapped. Because, you know, in the Bible, it describes that if you're in debt to someone, that means you're a slave to them. It's a new slavery system, you know? So if we can get away from it, from the materialism, because when you think about it, when you go to Rwanda, when you go to Jamaica, you see that people socialize with each other. Don't you notice that? They have a community.
Community is top notch.
Exactly. And when you live in the West, everybody is siloed with their smartphone or whatever, or their Game Boy, and they don't know their neighbors. And when they get bored or lonely, they go shopping. I know that's what I do. I don't even know what most of my neighbors look like. You know what I'm saying?
Same here. Like, I can so relate. It's unfortunate, yeah, like I've lived in places in the UK, like, and never kind of had a glimpse of my neighbors. I was like, oh yeah, that's my neighbor, but not had any real conversation, or I couldn't go over and sort of borrow a bag of sugar.
Yeah, that's reality. And I would say that people in developing countries have a more balanced life.
Can do,
that's
yeah.
That's been my experience, that they have more balanced life. I watch returnees to Jamaica, and that's one of the things they mention. It's easy to make friends in Jamaica. It's not easy to make friends in America, because everybody is, even if you have family members, it's not even easy to get together with them because everybody's too busy.
And that's one way they have really impacted the Black community, you know, imprisonating the Black men, breaking down the family structure. You know, again, when you talk about families not seeing each other, we're just so focused on the everyday cartwheel, like the everyday hamster wheel, round and round. We lose that real connection with that real love, that brotherly sisterly love, that family love. And definitely on the continent, you know, they're all about family. That's like ingrained within the culture, is family bonding. And, you know, because even in Rwanda, like when I first went there in 2014, and, you know, they love to just sit down, like eat food and just talk for hours and hours. And then I'd be like, oh my goodness, you guys talk so much, I'm going to bed, you know. But that's one thing that I really, really enjoy, is the fact that, you know, embedded within the culture, it's like, it's family, it's talking, it's laughing, it's just, it's I can't even explain it. It's just so joyous. It's a joyous feeling that you don't feel maybe perhaps in the Americas and in the West, you know, because everybody's so focused on their own lives. And even with the pandemic, you think that it gives us more opportunities to connect. I know it has, in a lot of circumstances, family have really got together, but a lot of people would also be able to testify that other people have disappeared. You don't know whether they're dead or alive. It's just that crazy. But let's hear from Simeon, please.
All right. Yes, a good discussion, this. Unfortunately, none of us was here back in the days of those slave times and slavery. But one thing that seems so evident, we have a certain nature about us. Yeah. Other people got their natures as well. And looking at the way we behave, it's no real surprise why slavery could really last for 400 years. It's no real surprise if you really, really think about it. Because even when things are staring you in the face, we like to deny that. So I look at it like this. I think as much as we talk about, people going back to the continent, we've got to be realistic that there just be a minute few, because in a sense, I think the reality is the longer you stay in an environment that wasn't designed for you, you become like the people. You become them. You have their mindset. Do you know what I mean? You might not have their skin color, but you have their mindset. So once you have their mindset, there's no way you can convince them. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they still look you in the face and say, I ain't African. I've never been Africa. You know what I mean? So it's one of those, and they look at you with basically ridicule, in fact. So, we got to come to terms with those type of things, and we got to as African Unite Force would say, and even African Superstar would say, when we do go to the continent, we got to embrace what we missed out on. Embrace what we missed out on. Integrate. The continent also is a great place now, which I really, really, really look forward to, obviously in the future, where there is a diaspora over there. So it's like, without trying to separate ourselves from obviously continental Africans, we all know that in Africa it's quite tribal. So you'll be almost having obviously people from the diaspora. It's almost like having your own tribe there that you could relate to with the same experiences. And in between that and integrating with local continental Africans, man, I tell you, that'd be the closest place to heaven on earth, to be honest. What I've seen in Africa, my trips of going, is that when you do have money, you get a lot more respect. A lot more respect. Obviously, you got to be cautious everywhere you go, as in, people. Money attracts all sorts of people, but the level of respect and where it can get you can just never have that in the West. So that there also is something to look forward to. There's so much positives about the continent, and the potential itself is huge. It's huge. That there, because this is why I like these type of conversations and channels, because it's not necessarily sometimes the information you need. It's the motivation that keeps you going. It's people like yourself that keep people going. Do you know what I mean? It's people, and this is why I always stand behind the sisters then, because we could always have conversations and it never gets emotional. It never gets school playground kind of it's always constructive. And that's what I give you a lot of credit for. And all those of us that are keeping it real out there, it's the motivation that you continuously need, because we're in an environment where everything's against us. Everything, you know what I mean? No one wants you to actually progress and go forward. And therefore, you got this small community which is growing, that, everybody's got what you call a the like-minded is there, and the like-minded is increasing. Like this brother here now, I've never met this brother, African Chronicles, but as soon as he speaks, I can relate to what he's saying. So what that makes me feel is, oh, you know what? There's another black man out there that thinks similar to me, and I'm happy with that. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes, as I said, these type of things, if you have a down day, they make your day, because you're not the only one. So all those that have, that are on the journey and are waking up or already woken up, do you know what I mean? Just keep going. We just got to keep pursuing and going, man, because it is tough. There's no ifs or buts about it. It's tough to get your accomplishments, but they're definitely worth it, man. They're definitely worth it, because you weigh up the options. What's the future if you don't try? What's the future? It's not even worth it. Do you know what I'm saying? So you gotta pursue, and we gotta keep going, and don't make those comments, those negative comments that you will get, obviously because you're a YouTuber. Don't make them get under your skin. Don't make them get under your skin, because you know what African Superstar said about that pedestal. You remember?
What was that?
African Superstar said, you see yourself on the pedestal.
Yeah, when you're up there, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Most of these people that's making these comments are are normally below the pedestal. So you ain't got to worry about them. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. Excellent, excellent analogy. Love that analogy. You know what I mean? I might use it in the future. Don't tell her I said though, you know. But yeah, Wiki, because it's true.
Thank you so much for, your, it's always a pleasure having you on, like, your words of encouragement. And, as you said, like having this platform, it's really about supporting each other because, as I said, like there's days where, I may not be feeling up to certain things and I may get like an inspirational message from one of my subscribers. And I'm like, no, I've got to keep going. I've got to keep doing this. Because obviously as YouTubers, some days you do lack motivation. In general, I'm a very positive person, but you get those days like, and then I'll just get a message and I'll be like, no, I've got to do this. I've got to do this. And it's really a part of my purpose as well. So it keeps me going, really keeps me going. So thank you so much.
Well, we got to be honest with ourselves. We're only human, so we can't be on a high all the time. So this is where that community kind of spirit can definitely build us back up. Give us that little shot of boost that we need in ourselves to just carry on, because it's good work you're doing. It's very good work you're doing. I mean, you
said something like the minute or amount of us, that like a small number of us maybe that's relocating. But I really feel like there's an army sort of rising up and, slowly, more people are joining and really seeing the truth and the realities for what it is. And we're joining forces. And I'm telling you, watch this space because great things are yet to come and it will happen. I promise you that.
Oh, no. Well, I do believe that. I actually do believe that because as I said to someone before, can't remember who I was speaking to, when I first went to the continent. Sorry, the second time I went to the continent, I remember being it was Gambia I traveled to, and I was the only black person on the plane. I was the only one on the plane. Yeah. I'm seriously. Now I know if I go in this day and age now, that's not the case, and I know now that when I go to these type of countries now, I'm always seeing someone from the Western diaspora or even Jamaica or somewhere. So I know it's moving in the right direction, because one thing is once you get that snowball effect, we seem to follow trends. We like following trends. So once you get that snowball effect and once you get them people seeing things in a great light, that's why great credit to Wad Admire and his work. Once you get that going on, people get curious then. They want to know, they want to see for themselves. So you definitely, there's a snowball effect happening, and I don't think it can be stopped now. Once it starts moving, it can't be stopped.
Forward. So, there'll be people who will come with us, people who will fall off, people who will be like, no, you know what? No, this is not for me. But definitely things are happening and, great things are yet to come. So let's hear from the African Chronicles.
Well, I tend to agree with the brother because there is no other way but keep doing the work that we do. We keep talking, but when we act, as we said, people will see the change, because people will tell you, "Oh, you keep talking, but I don't see you doing anything." Fine. Do what you have to do. When they see the results of your work, and then they will say, "Oh, so she's doing it. Oh, so they're doing it. Oh, it works. Oh, can I be a part of it? Please, what can I do? What should I do? Blah blah blah." And they're gonna beg you. They're gonna literally beg you. Well, some of them will make it probably, and some may not make it anyway. So the only way to move forward is to move forward. Continue the work. Whether you like it or not, you want to come with me, join me. You don't want to come, fine. I'm doing it anyway. And we'll see tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, what's going to happen. I'll have results, not you. I have a decent life. I have a happy life, not you. You have a credit card, but you're in debt. I don't have a credit card, but debt free. See what I'm saying? You are in the US and the West, but you polluted air. I'm in Africa. I can breathe. You see, you are in America, the so-called most powerful country. You get shot every day. I'm in Africa, not me. You see, when you start to make the comparison, people say, "Damn, hold on, wait a minute, wait." And then, okay, with this amount of money, I can have a house like this. With the same amount of money in the West, you can have a house, well, like that. See? And when you keep doing it, and then people say, wait, you should really? Yeah, really. You should come and pay a visit. You see by yourself. And then it will start. You know, the mindset sometimes can be a very, very long process. Can be very quick for some people, but for some people it can be very long. They need to see something. And once they see, believe me, change will come. Oh yeah. So that's the reason why I'm not really worried about this. I know it's gonna happen anyway, with or without them. So let's do it. Let's continue the work.
Most definitely. I think especially those people who are like so resistant, like to with the idea with other Black people moving to the continent. You have people who are so resistant, and those are the people that they're going to really see and learn. And you may even get some of them going, right, yes, I need to be a part of this too, like I'm leaving this behind. So we've just got to continue doing what we're doing, and shine more light on Africa. I know Africa, there's so much light there, but bringing all of its goodness to the forefront. That's why I can't wait to get back to Rwanda. And I'm excited because also today I got some really good news that helps me with my planning. So yeah, Rwanda, here I come. Like, yeah, you guys will see me on the other side. I was talking to someone today, and I was like, I was in Rwanda, living my best life, working on my projects, came back here for 2 weeks, thinking it was as easy as coming here, going back, but obviously that didn't happen. That really sort of hit me, because I was like, I planned for this. Why did this happen? Like, I was on the continent, I was doing me, and I was having a phenomenal time. Why did this have to happen? Like the year I planned to move, and it's like, no, it's fine. It's just given me time to kind of refocus, and even propelled me to greater heights. So it's not going to stop me and my visions and my plan. If anything, it's given me more drive, and I can't wait to showcase more of that on the channel. And as P said earlier, there'll be people who, they can stay in the West or Europe, but then again, how can we think about, how can we work together? How can we build? How can we do business together? I think that should be part of the conversation, most definitely. So let's hear from Peace.
Well, I have to be open with you guys and say that I'm a Bible believer, and the Bible does predict that people will be going back to their own lands like they're being hunted. That's what Isaiah 13:14 says. I know not everybody believes in the God of the Bible, but I'm just telling you that's what I believe. And I honestly believe that, especially in countries like the US, there are going to be people running out of this country. And they're going to, I mean, there's even more reason why I know people are going to be leaving, but I'm not going to say it because, of course, this is not about that. And, but yeah, I believe people are going to be leaving. Even when I'm on other channels, I watch a lot of Jamaican YouTubers. Almost everybody in the comment section is talking about moving back to Jamaica. Like some of the most popular videos that they post are of house hunting. So a lot of people are thinking of leaving because it's tiring living with atrocities every day. I mean, I know the enemy's fangs reach really far. I mean, their hands reach really far. So even if you're away from them, they still have some effect on your country. But I'm sure you would agree from being in Rwanda that even if they have some effect over your country, there's a certain level of freedom and peace that you feel that you can never have in these evil countries.
Most
So
definitely. I
I'm
agree.
holding on to the hope that a lot of us are going to leave.
When I'm on the continent, like when I'm in Rwanda, how I feel, like it's just on another level. Like being back in the UK, I don't have that same feeling. You know, it just kind of dampens my spirit. I really have to give myself, like, I really have to encourage myself and keep going, because I don't have the same spirit here as I do on the continent. I don't have the same smile as I do, you know, on the continent. It's a whole different ball game. And, you know, it's one of those things. But let's hear from Marvin, because we've got Marvin in the building.
Can I say something real quick while he's unmuting his mic? Can you do some shows about the differences in culture so people can bridge the gap? For example, I was watching a YouTuber in Ghana. She moved there from the U.S. and she was interviewing some Ghanaian men, and they were talking about some of their cultural differences. And so I think it would be good for people to see some of the cultural differences. I mean, as immigrants like you and I are, we know about adjusting to cultural differences, but for Black Americans, they're not. The concept of living in a different country is like so far from their mindset and reality that there might be things that they don't think about. Like they would never think about the fact that there are different tribes and how that these different tribes are different ethnic groups, you know, with different cultural norms and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
So interesting
background people can get would be helpful.
Yeah, somebody else also asked me to do that as well. So definitely, I'm going to bring to the channel what the people want. So I've got to think about how I can make it creative and bring it to you guys. So yeah, definitely, I will.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm definitely people rooting on the sidelines for you.
I really do appreciate you coming in and sharing all of your opinions and thoughts and analysis with us. Please do come back. We appreciate you. You take care now, and see you soon.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
So we've got Marvin, in the building. Hello, Marvin.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm okay. I think African Chronicles wanted to go, so let him speak.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, because I really have to go. But
I love that Marvin's moderating.
thank you. Well,
sorry, go on. Sorry.
My conclusion is very simple. Just remember the story of the wildebeest. That you understand what is it going to take for us to react. I guess I truly believe in natural selection, but on the other hand, we still need to do the work that you're doing. For instance, we still need to work on awaken people, give them information, give them all the facts that they need in order to wake them up. If it doesn't work, at least you did your best. Just like the French writer said, Frantz Fanon, he said something like that. You know, every generation of Black people has to do one thing: work for the cause or betray the cause. So you choose to work for the cause, and you've done your best. So even if you cannot save everyone, at least you've done your best. So this is what we do, trying our best to awake a lot of people. If it works, we're good. If it doesn't work, well, we do what we could. All right. That's my 2 cents of the conversation. Thank you for having me.
Much. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate your input today.
Thank you. Good night.
Take care. So we've got Marvin. Welcome, Marvin.
Thank you. To keep with the topic, we are awake. But there's a lot of us that are in a deep sleep, and you'll always get that with our people. It's been like this for, ever since the creation of mankind. Because if you look at our, how should I put it? If you look at the empires that were built, okay, all of them in the past, they've collapsed for certain reasons. So what we're going through now has already been happening in the past. But the key thing for us to realize that why a lot of our people are awake, because why we fought our way through all of these strategies. A lot of us fought and we rebuilt and we grew from it. And there are still people who have stood back and stayed until the poverty has hit them that they cannot even move from where they are. Let's look at how Ethiopia is. The Ethiopia used to be what once the kingdom of Kush. So when you look at it and you see how it was in the past, and it was such a great country at one point, or a great nation, or a great empire, whatever way you want to put it, but people had to move on. Egypt was the next best thing to it. And then you look at the same thing. Egypt went down. Then we had, the Arabian empires. We had Greece, the Roman Empire, and all of these had collapsed, but people still stayed. So a lot of people sitting down in America and England thinking, it will never collapse. Nothing will not go. Listen, it did not collapse in a year. It slowly depreciated. So you as a Black person now have to do the math in your life to realize, okay, the way the system is set is that some will make it, some will not make it. Am I that one who will make it? A lot of people live in America. It's called corporate America. It's not America anymore. It's corporate. The country is up for sale. So how can you sit down and say it's a country and fight for it, and then you want to disrespect Africa? It makes no sense. Yes, you're in your comfort zone, but some things in life you need to be realistic. Corporate America, they're actually telling it to you. Then you see a lot of people are in the UK. It used to be called Great Britain, the United Kingdom. People say, "Oh, I'm going to England." They don't want to, say the big word anymore because it's finished. The Great Britain is been gone. World War II was over 70-something years ago. You understand? When England lost most of its colonies, right now England is begging. Come on. This is, it's crazy because the signals are there and the signs are there. So the few of us who do the reading, who do research, are woke. But there are a lot of us that, we wait when Malcolm X's birthday comes around and we just drop a quote. We wait when, we see it's our Independence Day and then we thank, our government for something that we don't even really have. Then the Queen birthday comes, we cry, or a whole bunch of things that we do. Because why? We don't really sit down and read and go deep into history because we're so comfortable. We're in our comfort zone. And what we as Black people need to do, those who want to stay and enjoy it, let's be happy for them. Let's smile for them because you know what? They will be the pawn. Let them be the pawn to the system. So whilst we're busy trying to build our wealth and grow our lifestyle, the system will not have time for us because we need to make sure we keep people busy. We need to understand that. If we leave white people with idle hands, they'll come and look for us and they will keep our life a living hell. So we want them to be busy. So those who choose that they love the system, they love how it's going, they love how it's treating them, then no problem. Let them stay, let them deal with it, let them stay in the deep sleep. Because we always have to remember one thing. We were never accepted. All Black people did was that we reinvested. That's all we did. We were never accepted in America, Canada, England, anywhere. When we started making our money speak for us, that's when they said, oh, come next to us. Come and be around us. Come and live. Come and stay. So you as an individual who's a spiritual African person need to sit down and say, hey, is my money really talking for me right now? If it's not, then you need to own land. You need to plan and move somewhere where you can own land. Because at the end of the day, the greatest wars in the world were fought over land. And there's a reason to it. Do your research yourself. The European Union was created, what, in 1993? That's what, like 20-something years ago? So these people just stopped fighting over land the other day. We have to be realistic, And as I said, all of these things are right in our face, and we don't even sit down and look at it and see it or analyze it. As the young lady just said, certain things we don't put in our mindset or in our reality. We are, she made an example where there were Black people in Asia, and it's true. We are world citizens. What's stopping you from just saying, you know what? Let me go Africa just for the passport then and put a foot down. That's it. Just show your presence. Nobody's telling you go give a kidney, go fight a war, go. No, you go there and you just play your part of the numbers. It's very simple. That's all you have to do. When you play the part of the numbers, you can go back to your systematic lifestyle and live. But at least put a foothold for your grandkids so that when they're born into this world, they don't have to curse you. You cannot make your kids born into a world where access is more important than money. And then we're going to have one passport. It's ridiculous. It's madness. The young lady spoke like she's from America. I'm sure does her kids have a Jamaican passport? These are the things we need to be jumping on. to show that we are awake. We want everything. We want a Brazilian passport, whatever we have to. We want it. Take it. Because I will tell people, and I always tell, especially Nigerians, they tell me, "Oh, our passport is shit." I say, listen, your passport is only shit because of the country you want to go to. Okay? As long as your passport makes you be able to leave your country, it's good. Look at the people in Lebanon. It's not Lebanon, sorry. In the Middle East, where is it? Gaza Strip, that they're born stateless.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But they make it in life, right? They go to all over Europe. Somehow they end up making it, and they're born stateless with zero passport. But you're coming from Nigeria or whatever African country, and then you want to complain, or Jamaica, and you still want to complain. You know, it's the reality we put our mind in, and we need to look at the world in a different method to understand that, listen, this has to be done. Some of us has to go, some of us have to make moves. We don't have to stay, but we still have to make moves. If we don't make moves, we will struggle, we will suffer, we will have nothing to leave for our kids, no land, nothing. And like I say, we'll do the research. It's all about land. Twist it or turn it. The problem with America is that their numbers is greater.
That's one thing I said. For me, I'm awake, and I just want so many more of us to be awake and to know that the power that lies within us. And you know, you talk about, I think what you're talking about is like building a legacy, acquiring land, property, you know, investing in the future, in your future, but also for the future of your children. And that's what I said to myself. I'm not going to allow my children to not have nothing. I am responsible now. I'm awake now. I know what I need to do, and I'm going to pave the way for them. Not going to hand everything to them, but I'm going to lay the foundations out for them, that they also know that, right, mom and dad has paved the way, and we have this and this inheritance, but also they need to be willing to work hard to keep things going, and that's what we should be about. That's what our community really need to be alert to and awake to. Like, let's build our legacy, you know. So yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you, but I had to just, I'm not sure what happened there, but Marvin, are you there?
Yes, I am here. I was just listening to you. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I thought everything went silent. So yeah, I was just saying about, you know, us building. It's important. We need to. It's a different ball game, and we need to know what the situation that we're in, and we need to build. Let's just work on. There's some of us who will not want to get on this whole movement and move to the continent. You know, that's fine. If you can support those who are already on the continent, if you can do business, as Peace was saying, how can we collaborate? How can we work together? You know, I think that's progressive, and that's definitely the direction that we need to move in. I mean, you mentioned like some of us are just going to keep being in that deep sleep, no matter how much you kick them in the behind, and they will never wake up. You know, so it is what it is, and it's sad. It's sad, but also I know the reality is the more we continue to spread the message, the more we continue to, you know, showcase what we're doing on the continent. More and more of us will be enlightened, will be awake, and will be encouraged to also do something great, moving towards the change we wish to see in the world.
I agree. But you know what was sad also? 70 something years ago. Oh, no. Let's go back to just 245 years ago when the Europeans were fighting and they said, listen, we're going to move to this new land called the Americas. And everyone, you know, was thinking, yo, it's going to take us months to get over there. And all the long drama they were going to face of how they're going to eat and all of these things. Now we're in 2020 where we have Wi-Fi, where we have a passport. We can easily save money, whether a year or two, to buy a plane ticket and move and do what we have to do. And if we're in trouble, we can pick up a phone and ask for help. These people left Europe, right, 245 years ago with no access to, probably they could barely even send letters, but they made the sacrifice. Black people are so comfortable, are so up there, that if you just say, listen, I'm going to Africa for a week, they ask you questions, or they try to put it as if you're going to Mars. You know, that is, I think this is the only question I haven't heard someone ask on most of the channel is there oxygen in Africa? That's the only thing I haven't heard they ask as yet. You know, it's crazy that, you know, we have to wait for, you know, for white people to tell us what to do and when to do it. And we seem to enjoy it, and then when our kids grow up, we make them growing up in a system that they think that, you know, they're part of, not realizing that we can't even explain it to them. We don't even understand them, and it's a separation. But then they see some other black families who are making it, and they keep fighting and fighting, and some go confused as well. I'm saying all of these battles, that's fine that you choose to face it, but don't you want to own something in your continent, in your land where you live, at least? Like, just go and own it, you know, just in case, you know, you want to do something, you come up with an idea, you want to do something in the future, or your grandkids want to do something in the future. I know so many families living in America, grandmothers who are in the old folks home right now, or grandfathers in the old folks home, and they have nothing, absolutely zero to give to their grandkids. You know, yeah, it's terrible.
And I said that will never be me. And if I can influence other people to also build their wealth and legacy and leave something for their children, I'm not just thinking about myself, but how can we as a Black community do better for generations to come? And that's exactly what you're saying. You know, it's so sad. I've seen those scenarios of sometimes I don't even want to speak about it, because it's just that sad that, you know, they haven't built anything for, you know, their children or their children's children, and yeah, they're in a home, they don't have any say, they don't have any money.
True.
Yeah. So let's
go ahead.
before you go, Marvin, let's hear from Simeon, and then we're coming to
sorry, I forgot he was there.
Yeah, Simeon is building with us. Simeon, I think you're on mute.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, yeah, my mic was off. Well, being raised by Caribbean parents, you know, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but there was a saying that
born in the Caribbean.
Yeah, this is why I mentioned it. So there was a saying that comes to mind. I always heard it, and it was, "Who can't hear must feel." Who can't hear must feel.
I never heard it that way, Simeon. I heard it like this: if you're not here, you're gonna feel it.
All right. Well, I'm talking, you know, I speak English and so I speak good English. I hear what you're saying. I heard it like that as well. You know what I mean? Well, sometimes I'd hear something once, and then you had no chance to hear it the second time. You know what I'm saying? So these people are quite fortunate in hearing something more than once and twice and whatever. So, you know, going back to what I'm saying, who can't hear must feel. So, you know, the ones that don't want to listen, you know, there comes a time when people are getting what they deserve, unfortunately. I don't like to say it, but it's the truth. So, you know, just have it like that. Because some people in denial. I'll leave on this note. The video says like some are awakening. You know, how can we make them realize that they're asleep? Well, have you ever come across people that snore?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, if you try to wake them people up and say, hey, what you doing? You were snoring. I wasn't snoring. Me, I don't snore. It's the same in the West. If you try to wake up these people and tell them, say, listen, man, can't you see the racism? No. What racism? There's nothing wrong. No. I got white friends. I got this. So, you know, it's that denial. So my last words is, leave them to it. You do your best what you can do, but just leave them to it. You know what you're doing. You know the work you're putting in. And most of us that are on this channel and different channels, we know the work we put it in. So that's all we gotta do. We're just gonna stay around like-minded people and keep on encouraging each other. You know what I mean? And just keep up the great work, Lady Visionary, man, because you're appreciated by people. All right?
Yeah, thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Shout out to brother Mark.
Very much, Simeon. You take care now.
No problem. Shout out to the brother Marvin and shout out to homegirl Healer as well. Yeah? You take it easy. And we'll speak again soon, all right?
Take care and come back soon.
No problem. No problem. We'll do. Okay. Bye-bye.
Marvin, what did you have to say in relation to what Simeon had said?
Yes. You just listen, learn your position in life, understand what position you're in, and then you make your decision. But just remember, if you're in a deep sleep, indeed, you will feel it. You will feel the pressures of it. If you don't believe me, just look at history. Yeah, like I think it was Peace who said about the Bible. Go read the Bible. See those who did not listen. The Bible is an doctrine of information that different cultures has created or keep. They keep it in different ways. You know, the Arabs, they had the Quran and so on, but all of that is still Bible because all of these things, it came from Egypt. Okay, if you do your research, you'll understand it. So there is evidence that those who did not want to listen, they felt the pressure. Just keep one thing in mind, though, that when you build your legacy, the ones who did not think of this doing the same as you in the past, the children who want to come now and join your family. So prepare to be a that's why you say a lot of grandparents, they're mean. You know, they ask you, who you bringing home? Who's this person? Where they from? What's their last name? Because, you know, the grandparents saw, yo, we made some sacrifice. Whilst these other brothers were over there dancing and twerking and doing everything, we made sacrifice. So who you bringing in? Don't bring home the struggles, you understand? And now you can't blame them. Now you're going to see why people are like that. It's not because they have money, they want to be all stingy. It's that they understand the wrath of sacrifice. So take notes, do research, learn. You'll get it.
Most definitely. I was just going to say, my grandmother was like that. Who you bringing to the house? You know, like I had to be very prim and proper. Like, you know, she would assess. You couldn't just bring home anybody. So, like, as you were saying that, it just made me think of my grandmother and how she was strict, basically. But thank you so much, Marvin. I really do appreciate all your contributions here today. It's been a pleasure having you as always. I'm just going to also just say to anyone who wants to maybe come in, because as we're about to wrap up now, maybe there's somebody who wants to, you know, come in and just talk to us, give us an analysis. If not, then we'll be wrapping up shortly. I have just sent out the link, so you know, I saw your way out in the building. So yeah, if you want to come and speak to us, please do. I see Homegirl Healer, the Homegirl Healer, your best. Yeah, so I see Mish in the building, Aubrey, Dominic. Yeah. So guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up now because, as I said, I did send out the link. If anybody wanted to say any final words before we close, it's been a really powerful discussion today. You know, I felt like it was very, very important. It was very, very necessary. You know, and I'm totally aware that not everybody wants to go to the continent. Not everybody likes the idea, but for me, who has traveled to various countries within Africa, who has seen that, you know, there's so many opportunities on the continent. I always talk about living my best life in Rwanda because I really was. We have a guest in the background. Let's see who it is. The Homegirl Healer. Wow. Okay. Let's do this.
Hello. I just came to say hi. I'm not going to hold you long, but I just came to say hi. The topic was great. I heard so much good stuff. And I just want to tell everybody, y'all better be comfortable with being way showers. You just have to get comfortable with it. That's the nature. What is happening now, the way that things are unfolding, you have to be okay with being a way shower. And that just means literally creating the path and lighting the way. All you have to do is do the work and people will see the fruits of your labor.
Wow.
So that's all I had to say.
That's true, you know, because as I said, like, you know, so people have different ideas of how they want to kind of approach this whole situation with people who are sort of like, very, maybe some people say ignorant, or they just reject the idea, or they're in denial. But for me, it's like, even those people, we can still continue to educate, and as you say, way showers, show the way, show the way that you're doing it, and show the fruits of your labor, as you say. And I'm sure more and more of us, who didn't even think about going to the continent or consider it as an option, more of us will be awake to the realities and what great opportunities the continent can offer. So most definitely, homegirl healer, very, very valuable point you've just mentioned there. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. It's been a while.
Yes, I know I have been a bit busy lately, but I'm so excited that I had a chance to join your live and chat with you. And I'm doing amazing. And I hope you are too. And everybody, make sure y'all support Africa Rising Fund, please.
Oh yeah, and thank you so much for your support. I have seen that. So I really appreciate, you taking the time to support me financially with regards to the Africa Rising Investment Fund, and supporting, most importantly, you're supporting the young people on that project, who we're going to bless. And like, I can't really wait to showcase that also on the channel as well, so people actually see that, I'm not just raising money, but actually I'm making an impact on the ground. And actually, I wanted to make this announcement because I have decided upon the village that I want to support with regards to the Africa Rising funds. So I was just thinking, am I going to focus on one village? Am I going to work on different villages? But I think what we'll do is that we'll start with one village in the rural setting of Rwanda, and then we'll see how that goes, and then try to expand that way. But we have decided upon the village that we want to support, and I'm very excited, and I can't wait to go there and share the news with them, because I just know it's going to be really powerful, and it's going to impact so many young people. And I just can't wait. I just can't wait to get back. So you'll see me on that side before the new year, most definitely.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited, and understand, like, I'm going to continue to support as much as I possibly can. And I can't wait to see what you're doing. It's so amazing. And that the way that you're approaching it is the way that more of us need to be approaching it. So yes, you start with one village, but you are creating a way for others to, you're creating a way that can be very easily replicated.
Yes, exactly. Most
So
definitely.
you doing great work, and you keep doing it. Like I said, y'all better go support her, please, immediately.
Oh, thank you so much, homegirl healer. Please do
Thank
come back
you.
here soon. And anyway, you're not
Absolutely.
going anywhere. We've got you for life.
You already know what time it is.
And, I can't wait to hopefully see you in Rwanda as well.
Hey, listen, what you just said got me fired up. So I'm like, yes, I definitely, like, I want to see the village. Like, I definitely want to know what time it is. So yes, we will make that happen.
People will think that I'm only talking, like people actually in villages in Rwanda know me, and they're saying, when are you coming back? I got a message from a young person that I was working with when I was there, and she asked me, when are you coming? And I just said to her, I'll be there before the new year. And she said, I miss you, please come back. And I said, yeah, of course. Like, people are waiting for me to create jobs for them, so I'm excited. And when you go to the continent, you can really create jobs for people who rely on that for their livelihoods, and it really does make a difference to their lives, just through giving them employment. It's just amazing stuff. So I can't wait to showcase more of that once I get back to Rwanda, once I get back to my home. I can't wait to showcase more of that on the channel, and definitely I will be doing that.
I can't wait to see it. You stay well and stay blessed, and everyone take care and have a fabulous evening, or whatever time it is where you are, because I know we're all over the world.
That's
But
it.
whatever time zone it is, take care and be well.
Like the afternoon in America. So yeah.
Yep, it's evening here, but I need to be cooking dinner. That's why I definitely have to go. So I'll talk to you later.
You take care. Lots of love. You take care.
Lots of love. Take care.
And
Bye-bye.
okay. So as I said, we've had like so many of you come in and shared so many valuable points, and I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. A lot has been said. There's a lot we can really digest from this live today. I know quite a few of you came in a bit late, so if that was you, then you're going to have to start from the beginning, because it was, yeah, it was really interesting stuff that was shared here on the channel. So please do go back and watch if you just kind of entered in the middle. There's a lots and lots and lots you can learn from each and every one of the panelists today. What's Marvelous saying? Marvelous is saying, let them live. That the hope strategy, just make sure your family have the knowledge and access. Yeah, that's right. And Kim is saying, hello, Lady Visionary and chat. Hello to you, Kim. How are you? Hope you're well. You're just entering as we're leaving. I'm about to leave now. Peace is saying, okay. So Black people in India, Thailand, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Your way out. Yeah, about to watch from the beginning. Yeah, you have to go back. You have to go back because, yeah, you missed out a lot then. Kim, I'm going to go back and watch. Yeah. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for, you know, everybody who contributed today, all of you in the comments. I know at the beginning I wasn't really keeping up with the comments because there were so many coming in and there's so much to focus on. So I was just focusing on the panel and what they were saying, but I was seeing your comments. So thank you, each and every one of you, for your contributions. Please do consider supporting via PayPal or the GoFundMe page. All the details will be in the description bar, so please go ahead and check those out. Yeah, guys, thank you so much. Until next time, take care, guys.